Oh, yeah.
This is Kickin' and Streamin' Podcast, a binge watcher's guide to streaming movies, TV series, and stuff. Here are your hosts, Graham and Jocelyn.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Kicking and Streaming Podcast. My name is Graham, and with me today, of course, is the absolutely fantastic, majestic, all kind of estic Jojo. Hello, Jojo, did you join the room, Jojo?
I did join the room.
I don't see you, man.
I joined. I clicked the
Dude.
link and joined and everything. And
Man, I don't see. I don't know what we're doing.
I can actually hear you because it's getting an echo, so I turned it down. But I am there.
Nice, Jojo. So today we are trying to do something absolutely interesting. While we are recording and while we are live on YouTube and also on Twitch, we are trying to do this on Spotify Green Room. And so if, let's say you are watching us right now on YouTube and you're like, yo, I got to go run an errand. You can catch up. Just, go on Spotify Green Room and you'll see what we are talking about right here. Right, Jojo?
Yeah, Spotify Green Room is cool. It's very
cool. It is the counter of what you might call it, Clubhouse. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how that goes. So, Jojo, how you been, Jojo?
I've been pretty good. Pretty good.
You know what? I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been pretty good too. It was a good week because I know that Saturday I'm getting on out of here, going out of the U.S. for the first time in the last 2 years.
We've been on a jet plane.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? and so that feels good, Jojo. I tell you that.
Yeah, I bet it does.
It feels good. I'm like, yo, I needed this because, in 2019, we actually decided not to go anywhere. I was like, yeah.
We had done the same thing too in 2019. It was like, because the 2020 was our my husband and I's 20th wedding anniversary. So we're like, we're going to go on like a really big trip. Like that's going to be the year that, we're going to say, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nothing. Yeah. We didn't even get to go out to dinner.
Bloody COVID had other plans, motherfuckers.
Yes. But could be worse. We could be dead.
Of course. Yeah. We're here. We started on the bottom. Now we're here. Is that, yeah.
Yeah. Something like that.
Is that something we should say? Like, are we not too old to say that thing?
I don't
know.
No.
All right, that's enough blah 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 from us.
One community of this show is all blah 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 from us, but
that's true though. I didn't want to say anything, but you got it. Right.
Oh,
so here's what's going to happen. Today we're not going to discuss any movie or TV series in particular. Last week we brought you a very nice little movie that I know that we enjoyed, and it was absolutely fantastic. We had a lot of fun talking about it, and it seems to me that also our audience is like, yo, you guys were good. You know what I'm saying? Based on the accelerated pace to which the listens in the first 24 hours went. So we always have, boom, first 24 hours, and then there's a little bit of a slowdown, and during the weekend, it picks up again. But somehow, this particular episode is being, very consistently downloaded. So we thank you for that, and we're happy that you are cool with us.
Yes. And that you're interested in Skater Girl, because that's definitely something to watch and something to be interested in.
Yeah, I think this is one of those that we definitely sort of like made it that people, because I'm pretty sure that people had questions because
Yeah.
it's on Netflix,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But what we're gonna do today? Go ahead, Jojo. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, I think too that the movie is kind of like, it's one of those things that once you discover, you want to tell everybody about it.
Yeah.
And I think if you do a search and see that somebody else is talking about it, you're like, oh, I want to join the community. I want to hear other people what they thought of it.
Yeah, that's exactly what has happened here. So here's what we're going to do today. What we're going to do is that we have, as much as we are binge watchers, and you may, as our listeners, consider us to be experts in watching TV and discovering content and films and things of that nature, there are some very, very popular TV series and films out there that neither of us has ever had any interest in watching, and it's not necessarily an indictment of the quality of the content in itself. It is just a question of sometimes it's just like I'll get to it and you never get to it, and by the time you want to get to it, it's just not relevant anymore. And sometimes it's just like it's not my cup of tea, so I'm just not going to watch, isn't it, Jojo?
Yeah. If it's your thing, then good for you. But I'm going to be over here watching Columbo reruns or something.
And the crazy thing is that, like, I've gotten sometimes even slightly upset with people that I know that we have a similar taste, and I'm like, yo, you should be watching this. I mean, what is wrong with you? And then to discover they have no interest whatsoever, but because you get excited about a show, much like we do as kicking in kicking and streaming, we get excited about a show or a movie. We're like, we have to tell our audience about it, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Watch this or else.
But the truth of the matter is, sometimes people just don't get to it, and it's not of their interest, it's not their cup of tea.
Yeah.
So we do have some of those that we've skipped to. We've said no, thank you, albeit to ourselves, right?
Yes. I was when you came up with the idea for this episode, which I think is a fabulous idea. I was thinking of it kind of as the game of Never Have I Ever.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is our Never Have I Ever episode. So this should be fun.
That's dope, man. So let's talk about it, Jojo. I have a list, and you've already told me that your list is quite smaller than mine.
It's smaller, yes. So I'll probably have like one to your every two, but we may even have some of the same ones. I have this feeling.
Yeah. we do that all the time, especially when we do compilation lists and stuff. So there's that. So I'm gonna start, and I'll start and we'll comment, and then we'll move on swiftly. Then, as a matter of fact, I think why not? Let's just share the screen. I'm gonna share my screen. Oh no! Can you share screen, George?
No, I don't think I have that option.
What, dude? No. Yo, you know what, Jojo? Not cool. Okay. All right. Well, that's that.
Moving right along.
Oh Lord, oh Jesus. Right then. So, Jojo, here's the number 12 on my list. I have a dozen of the shows and TV series that I've never watched. I've never been interested in watching. And again, it's not necessarily a testament of how bad or good the shows are, but rather, never been my thing. So the first one for me, and it's my number 12, is actually a very iconic one because it's been on for, a bit more than 25 years? Can you guess, Jojo?
Is it The Simpsons?
The Simpsons. That's right. The Simpsons. I have never been interested. Like I've had friends who all they can do is quote The Simpsons, talk about The Simpsons, and blah blah blah. I can't find it funny. I can't find it interesting. I don't like Homer. I don't like Margie's voice. Margie's voice is
It's
it,
a
it,
really good impersonation. For somebody who's never seen the show, that was really good, man.
I bloody like no, this one literally I hate. I just don't like it. Um and many of my friends have told me, well, if you don't like The Simpsons, then how come you like, Family Guy? Because it's slightly different, but sort of like on the same premise.
Yeah, kind of inspired by Family Guy was, I think.
Yeah, but like I don't know why. I can't tell you why, but you know, shit, I'll take, Brian, Stewie, Peter, the entire the entire Griffins. I'll take them all day, but I can't take half an hour of The Simpsons. So is this a show that you've followed?
I actually didn't start watching The Simpsons until I was well into adulthood. Um, and I will watch it, but I couldn't really quote anything from it other than dope. And that's about it. I will watch it. I have watched it. I wouldn't consider myself a fan.
Yeah,
But I don't hate it either. It's just kind of there, if that makes sense.
yeah, like that. I can't. So that's one for me that and there have been shows that for many years I've declined to watch, and then when my son hit teenagehood right at around 13, that at that age they become very silly with word plays and stuff, and certain words just is like the funniest thing on earth to them, like things like fart and poop and things like that. Goo, 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 goo. And so there were some of those shows that were silly like that I had said, I'm never watching this. And then all of a sudden my son started watching them, and I'm like for instance, and this is not on my list, but South Park was one of those shows that I never intended to watch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I
Mm-hmm.
know that South Park was funny to some people, and but like I had never intended to watch because the entire thing was extremely silly to me. It
Mm-hmm.
was nothing that, as funny as it was, there wasn't anything about it that I could take seriously. So I was like, yeah, I'm never watching it. But then, my son started watching it. And I remember like, this is actually pretty good. you know, and then I started watching it too. But what I'm saying with that is that that's never been something that has happened to me with The Simpsons. It's just no, not my thing.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I respect that.
I do. Well, yeah, actually, yeah. And how about you, Jojo? What you got?
So if we're going to talk about I guess animated series, one that I have never seen and I'm never going to watch is, I mean, unless some strange thing happens, is the last thing on earth to watch, but is SpongeBob SquarePants. I was never able to get into SpongeBob. I know that there's a lot of people who are my age and older who love it and quote from it, and it's intended as a kids show, but certainly branched out into other things. But I never got into SpongeBob. I just could never do it. So I don't
All
even
right. So
know.
what exactly is it that you didn't like? Because like I'm kind of
I
interested on this one.
I I never liked the theme song, which I think is what everybody loves about it. Which I know is silly, but I just could never get into the whole singing along with it and everything. And I know people that's an experience for them and they enjoy it. So I never liked that.
Serious,
Yeah, I'm serious.
dude.
And
Whoa.
see, here we go.
Listen to pineapple under the sea.
No, it's just I don't know, not my thing. And SpongeBob's his voice always sort of bothered me. And then and then this is kind of a bad story, but I'm going to tell it anyway. I used to work with someone many, many, many years ago, and she was shaped exactly like SpongeBob. And I'm not lying when I say this. I'm not being petty or she was. I
Yo,
mean, if you put it, and then one day she came in like a yellow shirt and gray pants, and I about died. So
no,
yeah, no, she was shaped exactly like. I mean, I don't know how the poor woman found clothes to fit her. I really don't. I mean, she had to have them like bespoke because she was a square. And anyway,
wow, wow.
so that was another thing too because I didn't like her. I was like, so that was kind of like an association I made with her and SpongeBob, that SpongeBob was bad. So
Oh, I see. But I don't. So here's the thing. I didn't like SpongeBob in the sense that his voice and his over enthusiasm was
mhm,
really annoying to me.
mhm.
Like I don't like people who are over enthusiastic. Like these people who sing the good mornings to you, like good morning, like get the fuck out of here. So I that was annoying as hell to me. Like I don't know anybody who is as happy to be at work as SpongeBob, and that shit is annoying because he be messing it up for us out there. Oh, God forbid somebody would decide like, man, why don't you be more like SpongeBob? Shut the fuck up. so
Yeah.
so but I kind of actually liked the show. I was a big fan of Patrick because Patrick has the exact voice as Shaquille O'Neal, like, oh no, hi SpongeBob. I was like, Patrick is so chill.
It's from all the seaweed. Ah.
Hey, I see what you did there.
Uh,
I don't see what you did there. All right, moving along. All right, so for you, it's SpongeBob. So the next one for me is a show that I have never watched, but I have no opinion of it. I can't tell you. I know that people who are fans of it, they will tell you that it is the greatest thing to ever happen on Showtime. But I'm not, I've never been interested in watching the show. Um and I know William H. Macy is like one of the best out there. But that show Shameless, I've never been interested in watching it. And I know a lot of people who tell you, yo, you should watch it. It's great. But it's not my thing. I don't know why. Like I said, I don't have an opinion. I can't tell you that it's the worst show in the world or it's the best show in the world. I just, yeah, never been my thing. Is that so? Is that a show that you've ever seen an episode of, Jojo?
I've never seen it, and it's never been. I have a similar, I guess, experience to you. Is I have no opinion on it. Like it's not anything that's I've ever been. It's never sparked any interest with me to be like, yeah, I'll watch that, and then I just never watched it. But it's just like not my bag.
Yeah, and but you know, I I don't know. I want to say that perhaps the the main thing that turns me away from this show particularly might well be because it's like extremely white.
Ah,
Like really mad white. Like you can go episode and episode and episode, and you don't see even even a feeling in the show that is like brown or black. And and I guess the very first time I attempted to watch a show, that's the first thing I noticed, and I'm like, uh, nah, that's a bit too white for me. It's not.
yeah.
It's not. But I would hate to think that's the only reason, to be honest with you. The fact of the matter is, I do not have an actual opinion as to why I don't like this show. Uh, you, Jojo, what do you have next?
So one for me is an older one,
Mm-hmm.
and it's actually been off the air for quite some time. But at the time, it was incredibly popular, and I think it was one of those shows that if you were a nerd, you were expected to watch. And as a self-admitted nerd, I should have been watching it, but it never ever caught my interest. It was actually quite the reverse. With anything I watched of it, it kind of I hated the few minutes of it that I've ever seen. And the show is Battlestar Galactica. Um,
Oh,
not the original one, of course, but the one that came back and has quite the cult and beloved following. And there's still Comic Cons and they're still there and everything. But I could never get into Battlestar Galactica. Never have I ever been able to finish an episode of it.
yeah. Yeah, neither have I.
Yeah, it
But
was.
it was never like that's true. This is
Yeah,
the one that I was never tempted. You know how like when you're flipping channels and stuff,
yeah,
and you're like, let me see what this is about.
yeah.
I never felt that about that show.
Yeah, like, I mean, Star Trek, I can watch the old series, I can watch The Next Generation. If pretty much anything to do with Star Trek, I can happily watch. But Battlestar Galactica, I can't do it. I can't do it. I had friends who were into it and loved it, but I just
So
never was
so
able
what
to.
happened there?
What happened with what?
So what was it? What was the turner for you? Anything at all?
No, that's the thing. There was never like I never was able to get through an episode of it. Like, it was one of those things that people were excited about, and I'd heard about. And of course, when you're a nerd, it's the kind of thing, oh, you got to watch that. And I tried, and I just was like, this sucks.
Mm, it's not doing it for me.
It didn't do it for me. It never ever did it for me, as sci-fi, as space, as anything like that. It never clicked any of my boxes. So I've never seen a full episode of Battlestar Galactica. And I as a nerd, I should have, but I have not.
But like that's the thing though. It's just that like when you can't find anything that compels you to stay, you just like and people look at you like there's something wrong with you. Like, no. But what is it about it? Well, what dude, I don't know. I'm just not into it, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. I'm not, for the folks who loved it, cool, good for them, and everything. I'm happy for them, but it didn't do it for me.
And it was a bad thing, you know. For me, another one is the leftovers.
Hmm.
I remember when we were researching the best shows of the decade. Like when we did, it was actually the very first thing we ever did on our YouTube channel.
Yes.
And I went through a lot of online magazines and stuff looking for ideas of how they went about it. And this show kept popping up, The Leftovers. It was an HBO show, if I remember correctly. And that one I actually remember watching at least one or two episodes. But no, I couldn't. I couldn't manage to watch it. And I can't for the life of me. I can't for the life of me figure out what exactly do people like about this show. Like, the rapture happened and some people were left over and whatever. Like, some sort of post-apocalyptic kind of shit, but it wasn't doing it for me. It never did it for me. So if you've ever seen the show, tell me what it's about and why uh, I should be interested in watching it, Jojo.
I have never seen it. I remember all the buzz that was about it when it was out, and I remember that it was one of those things that people were like, you have to see, and it's so good, and et cetera, et cetera. But I never watched it, not from any particular reason other than I just never did. And
Hmm.
so it's one of those shows I don't have an opinion on. Like I never saw it either.
That's amazing, man. Because for a show that with critics was so popular,
Yeah.
and it seems like there is you cannot do a search on Google about best 25 shows of the last 10 years without it coming up. And I'm like, but that show, I don't even know that this show had more than maybe two seasons, you know. So
Yeah.
I don't know what the buzz is all about, but yeah, uh, no, not for me. Thank you.
Yeah, I never watched it either. So,
All right. So what you got next, Jojo?
um, so I have a show that I don't think it was very popular when it first came out, and then it got kind of a cult following. My husband is a huge fan of it. I can't stand this show.
Dude,
I have tried to watch this show. I hate all of the characters. And it's
I have a feel.
Community.
Oh my God. Yo, I was bracing myself. The moment you said that Jeffrey loved the show,
Uh-huh.
I was bracing myself. Like, it might be something I like too.
But are we
Because for
saying
some reason you hate everything that I watch that my wife hates. you don't like, and it seems to be that that's vice versa.
Yeah, I know it was like I said, I don't think it was very popular when it first came out, and it got kind of a cult following, and people, it kind of gained momentum, and I think it's even have like a regeneration now on streaming. Like people are watching it more on streaming than they ever did when it aired, and I can't. I just can't. I just can't.
So I have a funny story about that one. And here's the thing: when it started, I decided I'm never watching this show, and the reason being is because Joel McHale, Joel McHale used to have a show on E Networks called The Soup,
Yes.
and I used to find him incredibly unfunny. Like seriously, I'm like, why is this guy? Why does this guy have a show? Because all he did was like basically play a little snippet of a reality show and make fun of it.
Yes.
But I didn't find him funny. Like the situations that he picked to make fun of, they were funny, but I didn't find him funny. So when it was right at the time that he was doing The Soup, he started with Community, and I'm like, this dude is unfunny to me, so I'm not gonna watch this. And recently on Clubhouse, if you remember, I've been participating in these um, room where they were doing like this March Madness style of best sitcoms ever, the 60 or 100 best sitcoms ever, and Community was listed in it. And the way it goes is that one person in the room, two people in the room, each will basically defend and tell you why the two shows that are facing one is better than the other.
Okay.
And somebody made an absolutely great case for Community. And I'm like, well, this is one of those shows that I've never watched. I think enough years have passed now that I've gotten over whatever it is that I was that I didn't like about Joel McHale. So I'm gonna give it a go. And the moment I started, I couldn't stop because for me, each one of the characters were so like it was such a group of misfits and and flat out stupid people.
Yes. Yes. And
That
on paper, it's the kind of show that I should love. Like it really is. But for whatever reason, I can't. I just can't. I want to smack all of them.
I actually love Abed. You know, Abed is my boy. In the bromance between Abed and Troy Joy and Abed in the morning. Yo, that was my thing. And I would wake up singing Joy and Abed in the morning. And the theme song too. I loved it. I can't find the reason I should stay. I love that song, but it was like such a crazy thing. So you're not budging, Jojo.
I'm not.
Not a chance.
Because I have sat through many episodes of it. I've been in the room while it's been playing, and I can't. And I don't know why. I really don't know why, because I recognize the fact that it's funny. I do, but there's something about it that I'm just like.
Well, one character in this show that I've always wanted to smack in the head is the Dean. He is my least favorite character, and sometimes he's mad funny. But because of how he annoyingly pops up all the time and he's always doing some weird ass shit, I come like, oh God, I hate this guy. But I know I came to like the show. And I have like 4 episodes to go to finish the entire thing.
Okay.
That's how hard I went at it.
Okay. Yeah, you went hard then. Yeah. Yeah. I think Jeff's watched all of it like, I don't know, 3 or 4 times at this point, but
so wow, Jojo.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
Wow. Poor Jeff, man.
I know, poor Jeff.
And that's the thing. They're like, there is no one show, especially the funny ones, when I'm watching that my wife is like, why are you watching this stupid shit? No, because you're German, you don't find shit funny. Like, get out of here. Get out of here. Don't question me about funny. You don't know. Like the old man on Coming to America saying, what do you know from funny, you putz? Anyway. All right. So Community it is for you.
Community, yeah.
All right. Well, so speaking of Donald Glover, again, this is one show that has received a lot of accolades, a lot of praises, and people are crazy about. And I have to be honest, I have never watched one episode of it, so I don't know what to tell you about this show. It's just that I've never been interested on watching anything ever, not 1 minute of that show. So again, this is not something that has to do with the quality of the show. It's not that I have an opinion of the show. It's just that, yeah, I've never gotten to it, and I feel whenever I try to force myself to start watching it, I'm like, oh, but no, there's something else that I could watch. I'm talking about Atlanta, that show created by Donald Glover. And everybody says that Donald Glover's writing is absolutely fantastic, and the show in itself is like breaks all the rules, and it's mind blowing. But I can't muster the enthusiasm to watch it. Is that a show that you've ever come across?
I've never watched it. I've read about it. I've read good things about it, and I would like to give it a try, but I never have. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, I'll watch this instead, or I'll watch that instead. It's like it's never been like, okay, I have to watch this.
And I think that's what I want to do, actually. Like I want to, much in the same way that I decided one day, you know what? I'm gonna give it a try with Community, because I think that was exactly my thing with Community, is that I'll watch it another day or whatever. But it started with my not liking Joel McHale, so that was the real reason. In the case of Atlanta, I love Donald Glover. And you just heard how highly I spoke of him as Troy on Community, and so maybe I will get to it one day. But whenever I want to start watching it, I become lazy in something heavy gets on my shoulder to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch something a bit more lighthearted, even though I don't even know whether or not this show is lighthearted. So
True.
yeah, that's the thing for me. Atlanta, is it? Yeah. You're going ahead now, Joji. You're going ahead.
So I'm gonna go way back.
Oui.
Way back, and this is a never have I ever for me.
Oh Lord.
But it also I think is relevant because of something that just recently happened. There was a big reunion for a TV show that was very, very popular a long time ago, and the TV show is called Friends, and I have never seen an episode of Friends.
No.
Never seen an episode.
No, dude, no.
I've seen clips. I have seen clips. I know
Yeah.
some of the references, but I've
Yeah.
never seen an entire episode of Friends.
You know what? That's amazing.
I think I might be the only American who's never
That's-
seen an episode
That's
of
quite
Friends.
possible. That is quite possible.
I've never seen an episode of it. I have seen clips, of course, and I know who all the characters are because of just being, everybody talked about it all the time. But I have never seen an episode of Friends.
That look, man, you just blew my mind right here. Because again, I'm serious. That is, I've never heard anybody say that. I've never heard any American say I've never heard any American say I've never watched an episode. I've never seen an episode of Friends.
Nope, I've never seen. And I was the age group of that it was targeted for and everything. It was. I should have been, but part of it was because of when it came out, it was not available for free. It would have had to come through cable, and that was not an option at the point because
was it an NBC show?
Yeah, we didn't have any NBC affiliates in the area that I was, so it would have had to come through cable.
Right.
And there was no money for cable for I don't know. I think I was 30 before there was money for cable. So that's part of it. But I never even saw it at a friend's house. I never saw Friends at a friend's. So
never saw Friends at a friend's.
So I've never seen it. And it's, again, I have no opinion on the show because I have never seen an episode of it. I know how phenomenally popular it is and how important it is to culture. But the whole "You're My Lobster" thing or something that's a reference to Friends. Apparently that was a thing. I had to Google that because I was like, I don't know what anybody's talking about.
Wow. Okay, Jojo.
Yeah,
Jojo. No.
Yeah, well, my education is missing.
No, here's the thing. So I remember. So in the Caribbean, right, our cable content is slightly different in the sense that, you will see shows that have never belonged to a network, but on that network. And so we had most of NBC sitcoms we got through Sony Entertainment Television and Espanol something that was part of the cable package. And luckily at the time, technology was good enough that you didn't have to suffer through it with a dub in Spanish. If you spoke English, you could just switch it. And from time to time, I would watch like The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air at some point, and the next one would be Friends. And I would just follow along and watch the episode. But I never got to the successive episodes or whatever. Like I never understood how their seasons work. Like I would see an episode on repeat or whatever. And so when I moved to the US, it was, I think, right at the year of the very last year. the very last few seasons, and the movie was in 2004. And if I remember correctly, the show either ended in 2005 or 2006. And so that's when I started watching like in episodically by a season. And so, I kind of got the whole vibe with Joey and the David Schwimmer's character and the whole thing. And so it's a show that I actually came to understand after I moved to the US. When I watched it in the Dominican Republic or elsewhere, it was always, oh, that's a funny show. But most of the time I would be watching perhaps the same episode that I caught, 15 days ago and
Gotcha.
stuff. But yeah, Friends, how I came to watch the entire thing, my wife has the freaking DVDs. And like back in 2008 2009, during that crisis or whatever, I had a period of chômage, as they say in French. That means I was like jobless. And so I just watched the entire thing and I understood it, and I see how important it is to American pop culture. But again, it was like way too white too. Yeah.
It is a very white show,
It
isn't
is
it?
incredibly white.
It
Like
is a very
seriously.
white show. Yes, yes. I mean, I haven't seen an episode, but all of the references and everything all the clips I've ever seen, it is white
Mad white.
Caucasian.
Yes, yes, yes. Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that there's anything wrong with that, you know, because if we are reflecting real life, there are a group of friends who have never had a black or brown uh, friend in the mix. Do you know what I mean? There's that. I'm not saying that there's not that, but um, TV shows have the power to normalize things that we don't see every day,
Yes.
and I think that's I've said it before. It is because of Will and Gray's Modern Family and a whole lot of other advances that we've seen that have normalized, same-sex relationship to the point where the Supreme Court went like, yeah, fuck it, let's just let these people get married. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not dismissing the work that activists have done for the past 60 years for LGBTQ rights. I'm talking about the normalization of LGBTQ life in American quotidianity happened because TV has that power.
Yeah.
When Ellen DeGeneres became an icon that came on your TV, depending on what market you are, every day at 4 p.m. with a talk show. And whether you disagree with her sexuality or whatever, you found yourself watching it and finding her funny and like, actually, you know what? I like this girl.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, whatever it is that you held against Ellen, it's no longer a thing. When we saw, Eric McCormack, Sean Hayes doing their thing, Bobby Cannavale had actually a very good couple of seasons also with Will and Grace. Like, there's nothing wrong with these people. They're just normal as us and they love each other and they want to be in loving committed relationship. What the fuck? So that's why, like, the only I have against Friends in that respect is that in the mid 90s when the show started, or throughout the entire show, as the times were changing, it wouldn't have hurt them to cast, an extra character, either black or brown, and
Yeah.
and make it normal to have a mixed group of friends. So I'm gonna leave it there. So you ain't missing shit, Jojo. That's all.
That's awesome. That makes me happy.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I haven't wasted my life.
No, no, no. You ain't missing shit. Yeah. And you know what? Like there was a lot of mea culpa on the part of Malta Kaufman and the rest of the crowd of those who created the show. A little bit about like, yeah, with the times and blah blah blah. But I just felt like, for instance, Larry David has caught a lot more, uh, a lot more slack for Seinfeld and the lack of diversity on Seinfeld than Friends did. You know what I mean? And that's not necessarily true. I think Friends had perhaps a larger responsibility because of the demographic that
Yes.
it targeted
Yes.
to show that it is perfectly normal to have one or two black friends and shit. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, so let me move. I went on a fucking tirade, didn't I?
That's all right. That's what the show's for.
Yeah. So another show that I have never seen, and I know that it's funny, and I love the creators, I love the actors in it, and it's just that I've never made the time to watch it, is Parks and Rec.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
I've
love
never
you.
seen it either.
I love Amy Poehler. I love what's his name? My dude with the Swanson, dude that played Swanson.
Yes.
You know,
Can't remember his real name, but yes.
he's actually Megan Mullally's husband.
Yes.
And of course, my boy from South Carolina.
Yes.
I love everybody in the show, really, but I've never watched it. So I have to get to it, and I really actually want to watch the show. Contrary to other shows that I've never watched and I'm still not interested, this one I want to get to. Except that, like, if you go looking for Parks and Recreation, I think on Netflix, you're probably not gonna find it because now Peacock, whatever. And although I have Peacock, but I find it terribly painful to watch anything on Peacock.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I haven't tried anything on Peacock yet. I don't have Peacock, so
I think like NBC dropped the ball here with the way like you release a fucking app and then it only works with certain devices and shit, and like when it updates you have to reinstall the entire thing and
oh
fucking
God.
log in again, and it's really terrible. I avoid opening that app on my TV because of how terrible it is. And so because of that, I might not get to Parks and Rec soon enough, but I still plan on watching it.
Yeah, it's one of those too that I'm always like, because I'll see clips from it, and I'm like, God, this show looks so funny. Why did I never watch it? And I am a fan of pretty much everybody in it too, but it just never happened. The stars never aligned.
Yeah, that's one of those. Yeah, really, the stars never aligned. That's true. Uh, so, but again, this is not one that I'm writing off. I will watch this one whenever
Yeah,
possible.
yeah. I'm not writing it off either because I do have the desire to see it at some point. I just don't know when that point will be. I might be 80.
Oh, here, nephew. What Parks and Recreation for me? If it weren't for this glaucoma. Ginger, don't get me started, man. All right, Ginger, what else you got?
So this is what I think we share. This is one that never have I ever and never will I ever. Uh, This Is Us.
Yes. And I can take that shit off my list because it was either you or I. And there you go, Jojo. Bam, 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 bam. This Is Us.
Yeah.
I'll never watch that shit.
No.
I'm saying.
No.
There you go.
No.
Yes, ma'am.
Just never gonna watch it. I'm never gonna watch it. I don't get it. I've had way too many people tell me I have to watch it. I've
Yeah.
had way too many, and just look. And no.
And
I
here's the crazy
don't
thing.
even care if it's like the greatest thing on television. I am not gonna watch it.
Now, you know what? With This Is Us, for me, I feel like you know those people who hate Hillary, but they can't even explain intelligibly why.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same way I am with This Is Us. I can't give you a logical explanation as to why I will never watch that show.
Yeah.
And it is possible it was because it's so popular with people whose opinions I'm like not very proud of. Call me a snob, intellectually snob, but if I know that you're an airhead and you come and tell me you have to watch this, like, yeah, man, yeah, sure, I'll get to it.
Mm-hmm.
But given the fact that you're a fucking moron, and I know that for sure, I might never get to it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's very similar for me. Like it's just never going to be anything that I am interested in. I'm just not interested in it at all.
I'll
And
pass.
yeah, hard pass. Hard pass.
All right. I've never been so happy that you took that off my shoulder because I was just like, yo. So the next one for me is a show that was also on HBO that everybody was crazy about. It's called Girls. And I hated the show, and I fucking hate Lena Dunham. I don't
think you're alone in that.
I'm so sorry. Like, yeah. No. I think Lena Dunham was put on this pedestal that she never had any business being on.
Yeah.
And and it crashed so hard that I feel like going to everybody's face and telling them, I fucking told you so, you stupid ass. Like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Like, seriously, who the hell is Lena Dunham? Like, come on, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say about this show.
Yeah.
I never liked Girls, and I never liked Lena Dunham, and I think she's still trash. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I have never seen an episode of this show either. I never really had much opinion of it or anything, but I felt like the hype around her, which of course, I'm saying this after it's over, so I have no proof of this, but I always felt like the hype around her was exactly that, hype. Like,
Yeah.
not in the sense of a true talent, but just in the sense of a flag to rally around, sort of.
Yeah.
And I just never got the impression that she was truly talented, truly creative, and so I was never interested in the show and never watched it.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So
I'm gonna say this. And in the environment that we live, of course, there's a lot of people that would wish we would stop talking about race and shit. But this is the kind of things that happen when we mention opportunities versus talent. You know what I mean? Like Lena Dunham, is not as talented as Issa Rae. Simple as that,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And yet we have celebrated Issa Rae getting her show on HBO as if we won an Olympic, because we know how hard it is for a black creator to do that. Meanwhile, to Lena Dunham, all the doors got open and she wasn't even all that good. I'm just saying, you know. So that's the thing. It's like, yeah, but like she's talented. She's talented because somebody saw the, how light her skin is and said, yeah, she's talented. We'll give her a go.
Yeah.
That's it. Right. So what you got, Jojo?
So I'm gonna go with I think this is gonna be my last one. I'm gonna end with this.
Oh, dude, I have a damn list.
You have
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more, dude.
5 more? Okay. Well,
you and I will talk about them then. Okay.
Okay. All right. So, and when they might even cross over with some of the other ones I have on my list. But you're talking about HBO. So, and this one is a running gag with us. So, and this is a never have I ever, but it's not a never will I ever.
Okay.
Game of Thrones.
Oh boy. Yeah. I'm not gonna be with you on that one, Jojo.
I've never seen it, and you know that, and it's a running gag on the show. But yeah, I've never seen Game of Thrones.
I'm still secretly mad at you for that, but secretly though. It's not
You're the only one. You are not. You aren't the only one. Yeah. See, the mother of my nieces is pissed at me for that. So.
Yeah. And that's the crazy thing, but I don't know how you managed to piss off myself and Penny in the same sentence. Like, the only one that needs to unite with us and make you watch it is actually Jeff. Because, you already have 2 of us against you, right there.
I do think that at some point I'm going to watch it. I just don't know when it's going to be. It might be around the same time as Parks and Rec. when my glaucoma.
What did he say?
Hey,
these people have an accent. I can understand them. God damn it! Turn it up. Yeah, no, Jojo, you got to look. I know that you got it. And it's probably a major turnoff, but you should get to that one. The other day we had a discussion in Clubhouse about why somebody was making the case of why the 8th season was the best season, and we all wanted to strangle her. But yeah, Game of Thrones, I want to say it's worth it. So, and I trust that you will get to it.
Someday.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
That doesn't mean much to me. I'm gonna say. Knowing what I know, no. All right. So I'm not gonna sit here and just lambast you because you've never actually done. Now, you ever seen on social media when people start their post with unpopular opinion? Right? Like you've seen that one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to say some dumb shit, but I'm warning you. That's that to me, the whole hashtag unpopular opinion, that's what it's all about. But in this case, it's gonna be an unpopular opinion for me. I've never watched Key and Peele, and I don't like Key and Peele.
Oh.
I didn't like. Here's the thing. I like Jordan Peele. I love Keegan-Michael Key, and you remember how pissed off I was when Netflix did away with their show Friends from College. I thought that show was absolutely marvelous.
Yes.
And I cannot speak highly enough of Jordan Peele, but the comedy show, the sketch show that they had, I found it that they were trying too hard. Uh, it, Comedy has a way that when you overact it, it becomes a little bit unpalatable. And I felt like they had this. It was all the time they were screaming, "Please like us, please like us, oh please, 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 please like us." In the exaggeration of everything made it a little bit unpalatable for me. So I never liked Key and Peele. I didn't. So yeah,
Hmm.
unpopular opinion.
Hmm. I'm not going to try to talk you into it, obviously, because I respect that. But I loved Key and Peele. I love Key and Peele. I still look up some of the stuff to watch on YouTube when I'm sad. So yeah, but I also can understand because I know that you are a big fan of Chappelle, and
Right.
for you, that there's nothing that's ever going to take the place of Chappelle, nor should there be, in his show. So, and his show is great too, and I love it as well. But I also have room in my heart for Key and Peele. But I get it.
I think it also, for the longest time, felt like no. I mean, they got to a point where you could actually identify their brand of comedy, but for a long time, it felt like they were hugely trying to replicate the Chappelle show. Uh, and it was like, you guys aren't original. And then later on, they kind of found their footing,
Hmm.
and they became like something that people can still remember today. But I don't know. Maybe that was it for me. But you're right. It still it has a lot to do with Chappelle and the whole thing. So
I wonder if at the beginning, if some of that wasn't producers and decisions that they weren't powerful enough to override, in the sense of, like people are like, oh, well, make it more like Chappelle, make it more like Chappelle.
yeah,
And they were kind of like, oh God, okay, we have to.
yeah,
And then as time moved on and they became popular, maybe they were able to say, no, we are who we are, and we're going to do it this way. Or maybe they just
that's
learned. I don't know.
yeah, that's a very very plausible and valuable point. Yeah, because when you first come in, you are taken advantage of, and you are guided to directions that you once you start gaining a certain amount of autonomy, you're like, yeah, we're not doing this anymore. But it is possible that was the case here. So thank you for bringing that up. You know
Doesn't
uh,
change anything, but
I think I dislike the show a little less now, knowing that, or just by thinking about that. But still, I wasn't a fan, and whatever.
still not a
No,
fan.
not cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the other one is also an unpopular opinion because it is the show that no one can stop talking about, for fuck's sake. I'm talking about Schitt's Creek. Schitt's Creek. Schitt's Creek. I have one word for you. No. That's it.
So I have a confession to make.
Oh
Forgive me,
boy.
Graham, for I have sinned.
Oh my lord! What she done?
So I had a relative living with me, as you know,
Yeah.
and she is a huge fan of that show, which kind of blew my mind, knowing things that I know about this relative. So that was a thing that I would put on to keep her happy, if that's the right word. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And every time I would walk by the television, I would end up sitting down for 5 to 10 minutes and watching some of it. So yeah, I kind of got sucked into it a little bit.
Wow.
bad association.
Uh, I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
You're just hurt and disappointed.
Disappointed. Hating shit script was our thing, man.
I know. I know. We still have This Is Us.
Actually, okay, so time for me to make my confession. I've kind of taken in, like, Daniel Levy has become like a little bit of a funny bone to me. Like he did these commercials for the Super Bowl, and shit. I'm like, this guy is really funny. And I'm like, maybe I'll give it a go and watch Schitt's Creek because of him, you know. And the pops, I know he's funny, you know what I'm saying? But like, Daniel Levy is funny. Like
he is very funny.
There's something about him that reminds me of the, like, he reminds me a little bit of Sean Hayes, you know, with the Jack Talk and all of that.
Yeah, I can see that.
So now that you've come out as a Schitt's Creeker, I might give it a go, you know.
I was shocked by how easily I got sucked into it. I really was, because it was one of those things where she was like, do you have Schitt's Creek? Can I watch that? And I was like, okay. I thought I knew you, but apparently I don't. But okay, sure, I'll put it on.
I don't even know you anymore.
So I put it on, and I left the room because I had other things to do or whatever. And then it came to be lunchtime, and sat down with lunch and gave her lunch, and the next thing I knew, I'd been there for like 2 hours, and I was like, oh shit.
Oh boy.
So yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah. I should never let you leave that one down. So bad.
Yeah, no, don't. I told you. That's
I love
confession.
it though. I love it. I love that you actually felt like you needed to put it out here. Oh, Jojo.
What do I have to do for penance?
No, I'm just going, like, when you can't beat them, join them, right? So I'm gonna have to start watching that shite. Right. So I'm gonna go with actually a jewel box kind of thing, if you will. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I've never been a fan. I've never managed to get myself in the bandwagon of the Star Wars. So there's that.
You also called it the Star Wars, so it's kind of like the Walmart or the Facebook.
The Facebook and the Tweety Bird, the TV machine.
Going to the Walmart.
Yeah. 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 No, not my thing. Nice. Here's the thing. Like, this thing was there. I think the first one came out like I was either 1 year old or just born or whatever. And I remember actually it had sort of like a rebirth in the mid 80s.
Yeah.
I can remember because in 1987, so late 80s, I lived right next to a movie theater. I've told you that story. In Santo Domingo, and they showed a couple of the movies, starting with the original one and stuff. And I used to sneak up into the movie theater every night, on the last showing, like right after they would shut down the ticketing thing. I had my way of like going in, and for that entire week I didn't go. I never felt compelled to no,
Yeah.
The Ewok script the fuck out of me and shit. Chewbacca was kind of scary shit, like,
yeah, he is kind of scary.
So I never got into it. And as an adult, I was like, yeah, it's about late. It's a little too late for me to jump into that bandwagon. So I'm gonna just sit this one out.
I actually had never seen a Star Wars movie until I was well into my 20s, I think, was the first time I saw a Star Wars movie. And
Hmm.
my dad actually is the one who was like, he recorded it somewhere and was like on VHS, was like, you should watch this. This is good. You should watch this.
Really?
And so I did, and I would say in Star Wars fandom a very casual fan. Like I couldn't tell you anybody's backstory or anything like that. Like I know there are people who have family trees and stuff on their
Yeah.
wall and can go through this like it's baseball stats or something, which I can't do that either. But anyway, um so yeah, I would definitely say a casual fan, but I do enjoy um the movies and some of the shows, and I do enjoy how much fun and how easy it is to wind up a Star Wars fan.
Right.
Like they're
Which.
so sensitive. So sensitive. Like you can get them going with just the
Oh
smallest little
God.
thing.
Yeah. So we may be losing a couple of listeners right
Yeah, I'm
now.
sure we are. I'm sure we are.
Oh
And I'm
God.
sorry folks, but and I love The Mandalorian and I love lots of things about Star Wars, but yeah, it is kind of fun to get them going.
You poor things.
You're so sensitive. You're so sensitive.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you. So it just so happened that my last three are actually movies, Jojo.
Okay.
So the next one I've got is a movie that is iconic to a lot of people, including, you know, gangbangers and drug dealers and shit. But to me, I've never felt like I have to watch this movie. Um, Scarface.
I've never seen it either.
I've never seen Scarface.
I've never seen it either.
The only thing I know about Scarface is say hello to my little friend.
Yep, me too.
That's it. And I guess the reason you know, the reason I've never felt compelled to watch it is because we've talked about this, you know, like people that have nothing to do ethnically with an ethnic group playing someone from that ethnicity,
Hmm.
and not because there was a lack of actors from that ethnic group that could have done the job,
True.
you know. And so for me, it's like I don't know that from the beginning of times in American cinema, anybody who is not of Italian descent has played the role of an Italian. That's a big statistic. Maybe they have, maybe it has happened. But all I'm saying is, even when you hear that some dude is last name O'Malley, you know what I mean? His mama is Italian. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Yes.
you know, because like up north, you have a lot of Irish Italians.
Yes.
That the dude is his last name O'Malley or O'Donnell and shit, but he behaves like an Italian, he talks like an Italian, and he will tell you, you know, that his ethnic background is that of an Italian. You know what I mean? So so that's what I'm saying. Whereas you've had a lot of white actors who have played Asians, you know, white actors who have played a bunch of people of color. And in the case of Pacino, he was playing that role of a Cuban immigrant, uh, completely botched the accent, and made a mockery of it to the point where I'm never gonna watch that shit, you know. So I'm not interested, not my thing. No, it's a no for me. Should I say the big no?
No. Yeah.
No. What's the name of that senator, the dude from Utah? That he became
Um,
famous for that big no.
I don't remember.
He's an old dude. He's like he was the back in when the Republicans had the majority. He was the president, president pro tempore of the Senate.
Oh,
His name will come. He's the dude from Utah. He's an
I
old
know who
ass
you're.
Mormon.
I know who
Old
you're
ass
talking
Mormon.
about, but the name's not coming.
He's the one that did the no when he was debating the Affordable Care Act. No, they want to kill grandma and blah blah blah. No. And Jon Stewart used to use that, you know, whenever he was talking about something and he wanted a big no, he put that clip. No. I
miss Jon Stewart.
I miss Jon Stewart, man. But I understand perfectly the reasons why he decided to stop doing the Daily Show. Seriously,
Oh, yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
You know, because it comes to times where making fun of American politics is not funny anymore because it's just too messy.
Yeah.
All right, on to my last one then, Jojo. This is a film that is considered a classic, and it broke the mold. It made history for African American in Hollywood and blah blah blah. But yet, I've never watched it. I will never watch it, and I don't have a favorable view of it. Gone with the Wind.
Mm.
Yeah, no, I've never watched it. You know, it's easy to think, yeah, well, Hattie McDaniel was the first African American to win a Best Supporting Actress Oscar and blah 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 because of this movie, but it's still a glorification of the antebellum South. It's a romanticization of the antebellum South, of Confederacy, of a racist culture, and the things that had the producers of the Oscar had to do, that had to go through in one day in order to get Hattie McDaniels to be in that room.
Yes.
So yeah, history was being made, but that was a front.
Yeah, and she couldn't even go to the premiere.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't even allowed to go to the premiere. And I remember reading that what's the name of the actor? I can see his face. He played Rhett Butler. He was gonna not go to the premiere because she wasn't allowed, and because they got to be like really really good friends on set, and and she called him up and was like, no, you need to go because this is something like this is more important. Getting this movie out is more important than just me being able to go to the premiere or something like that. So for it being in 1939, I think it was a really really big deal to have Black people shown essentially on in a movie. I'm not really saying they were portrayed accurately or anything at all like that. I'm just saying they were in a movie, and I think that was a very big deal for 1939 in America. I have seen the movie. It's been probably 20 years or more since I've seen it. So I don't have an opinion on it one way or the other. I don't blame you at all for not wanting to watch it. It's kind of ancient history. I think it might be the kind of thing to watch maybe clips of or whatever just to get an idea of Hattie McDowell's performance. But at the same time, I don't know that it's like, what is it, 6 hours long or something? It's an incredibly long, it's as long as the Civil War lasted. It lasted longer than the Confederate flag.
Ooh, boy.
So, anyway, yeah, it's yeah.
Well, thank you, man, because you've contributed to my to the many reasons I dislike and oppose, taking my time to watch this movie. And
Yeah, it's not.
uh yeah, and that was my last one. You know, as you can see, like there are a number of these movies and TV series that we haven't written off. It's just that as avid TV watchers, we still haven't managed to get to muster the enthusiasm to get to them.
Yeah.
Some of them we'll never watch, right? Like, there's This Is Us. you know, that's like me getting on LinkedIn. Like, I'll never do that. I'm sorry, but no. Um, but what we would like to do with this episode is actually, if when you listen to this episode, if you would like to go onto our page and comment, give us your list of TV shows that and movies that are very popular with the entire world and that you've never felt any need to watch,
Yes.
because we know you have those too, because
Yes.
I managed to get 12 and Jojo managed to get at least 8, so
Yes.
that's quite a bit. Right?
Yes. Yes.
And so with that, we are going to start saying goodbye. Kicking and Streaming Podcast comes to you on a weekly basis, and when we don't feel like doing an episode, we don't, to avoid burnout. I'm just saying. But we really appreciate you coming back, week after week after week after week. And we apologize for the weeks that we've missed. But when we're not there, it's not necessarily because we don't have the content. It is because we feel like you probably need a break from us, or we need a break from the entire process of podcasting. There's a lot of that goes behind it that, it could get a bit overwhelming, and we like the consistency. I would prefer to not put out an episode as opposed to putting out an episode on a day that is not the day that we release. And so there's that. But all of this is to say that we thank you, we appreciate your support, we appreciate the love. And I know that the audience that we have it doesn't normally interact a lot. So, but we know you're there. We know you're present. We know you come and listen to the show. You download the show. We appreciate that. We love you for that.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You can follow us, obviously, on all social media platform, mainly Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest. No LinkedIn. Visit us at our website, kickingandstreamingpodcast.com, right? All 116 episodes we've done are there if you want to go to the history of what we've talked about. Also, you can subscribe to our mailing list. Also, with this website, you can actually leave us a message, right? You can leave us with your voice, leave us a message. But if you don't feel like talking, if you don't feel like doing any of that, then go on Podchaser or on Apple Podcast and tell us what you think about this podcast. Tell us why you listen and what you like about it. We will appreciate that, and it will serve to our benefit. You can find me on Instagram and on Twitter as Mr. Puzzetta. That's MrPuzzetta. And the show itself you'll find on Instagram and Twitter as Kicking and Streaming Podcast. So for me and for the Jojo, you actually have you have a little line, right?
I do.
You don't?
I do.
And actually yours is already recorded.
Yeah, I'm already recorded.
That's cool, dude. So shall we do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Jojo taking us out.
Thank you for listening to Kickin' and Streamin' Podcast. If you found value in our content, please subscribe and share. We would also be delighted to hear what you think of this podcast. So please rate us by writing a quick review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on all major social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. Join the conversation happening today on our Facebook group.